I cut the check, I cut the check, I cut the check. Tell my niggas we up next, so we up next. She shot a text, she shot a text, she shot a text. Kill the I might put the different day, put a nigga on that same shit. I've been ballin' with my niggas, Kevin Cambridge. Oh, you drippy, but you better tuck your chain quick.
What's good, guys? We got another episode for you guys this week. I wonder what's wrong with my sound. I don't know. But you see the hoodie, Sexland, man. We coming up in the ranks, man. But today I just want to talk about a couple of things. I want to talk about the MVP race. I want to talk about trades that contenders should make to put them over the edge, because to me, everybody thinks the league is going to go back to back, and I would love it, but I feel like it's going to be way harder this year because it's a lot of great teams in the league. But start off with the MVP race. You can give it to anybody. I'm gonna start at number 5. My number 5th person is Steph Curry, man, and that's crazy because Steph Curry is probably having the best season of his life, and he's number 5. That just shows you how great other players are playing. But dude's going crazy. Basically going to the beginning of the season, everybody was going to overreact. Everybody was hoping that he was going to get exposed this season, because if you look at the team just didn't look good, and they started off 0-2, got blown out. So definitely a lot of Curry haters, they got excited because he was down bad, and now you just see him now, multiple 10 plus 3 games, multiple a couple 50-point games, one 60-point game, and the team is, I want to say, number 5 in the West, and people didn't expect that. They're 14-12 or 12-14, one of those records. And I don't know, they just look really good. And then his game in general, I don't know what about it, just seems like way better than any other year he had. And that's including the 2016 year where it was no doubt in anybody's mind that he was the best player in that league. And I'm sorry, LeBron, any other year LeBron or KD has it, but that year it was nobody in the league better than Stephen Curry. And even Curry haters have to tell you that. Some will tell you that. I heard I heard Cash Nasty say that 2016 he was the best player in the league, and it was no doubt. He was on a different level, and I feel like he's on a different level now, but so are a lot of other players. And I probably could have put him over a couple people on this list, but I don't know. I just feel like they got a bigger case because what they're carrying, but he's doing really good. Something about his game is just so amazing to watch. It's just non-human. Like, just to be able to run at all times for 3+ quarters, because he don't play all game. He don't play the whole game, but it's a lot of time where he's playing most of the game, and his game is just running around screens, get open, try to get open for that 3. And then to do that all game, that has to be tiring. Then sometimes he'll have games where he's just creating for his own, and he's killing. Like yesterday, he was killing yesterday, and he had another 40-point game, and I'm like, yo, this dude's crazy, man. This dude's crazy, and I'm happy that he's doing this, because I was kind of like, I ain't gonna lie, I kind of overreacted the first 2 games. I was like, oof, I don't know if he can get this team to the playoffs, but he looks way better than he ever looked. I'm happy for Steph. Happy for my boys, Draymond, man. Draymond, one of my favorite players of all time. I had that Draymond as a Hall of Famer argument any day of the week. But yeah, this team just looks amazing. It's a main part because of him. He makes other players better. You can see Andrew Wiggins, Kelly Oubre, they're starting to get into the Warrior system, and that's why this team's rolling. That has to start with Steph, and he's really going crazy. But number 4, I couldn't really pick who. And this number 4 is somebody on the Jazz. I couldn't pick somebody. I couldn't pick not one player on the Jazz. You could have picked Donovan Mitchell. You could have picked Rudy Gobert. You could even pick Mike Conley and Bogdanovic. Like, they're all doing this as a committee. They're on like a 10-1 winning streak. They only won one game in the last 11 games. They only lost one game in the last 11 games. And I'm like, yo, I don't know who I can give it to, because they're all doing good. And people want to say it's because they not having their schedule's like lackluster. They're not really playing that much teams, but still, bro, winning 10 games in a row in the NBA is hard to do. And the way that they're doing it, they're not going into close games with these teams that they shouldn't be going into close games with. They're blowing them out. And then they even had a game against the Celtics. They were beating the Celtics bad. And I don't know, bro. I don't know who I can give it to. I feel like they're all having career years, especially Donovan Mitchell and Rudy Gobert. Rudy Gobert is having a career year to me, and I'm happy for him. And yeah, I'm especially happy for him because he's getting a lot of hate from the whole thing that happened last year with the COVID thing, because everybody feels like he started it because he was the first person that actually had it in the league. And I don't know. I'm loving what I'm seeing for this team. I don't know who I can give it to. The way they're playing is just beautiful, though. Just straight threes. They're killing you with threes. They're killing, and I love how they change their game. They're killing you with threes, and then on the other side of the ball, they're elite defenders from top to bottom. You got Jordan Clarkson coming off the bench, not giving a fuck. He's going crazy. If anything, he's number one in the six man in the year race. Nobody's better than him in six man. He's going crazy, and I'm loving what I'm seeing from Rudy. Rudy might be defensive player of the year right now, and like I said, I guess Donovan Mitchell. I'm Donovan Mitchell number 4, but like this whole team, they're doing it. They're doing it as a committee, and it's amazing to watch because they're really good. Number 3 was hard. It was between Jokic and LeBron, but LeBron just had way better moments that I had to give it to LeBron. So Jokic number 3. Excuse me real quick. Jokic is number 3, man. I don't really do these stats, but like Jokic is going crazy this year. He had a 50-point game against Rudy Gobert. No, that wasn't even against Rudy Gobert. That was against the Kings. And it feels like he's been playing by himself. And it's crazy because like you look at this team last year, surprise of the league, along with the Heat. Jamal Murray's going crazy, and I feel like a lot of people expected that to carry on the next season, but that's never been the player that Jamal Murray was. He's never been that type of player that's a top 10 point guard that everybody want to put him in. He's never been that type of player. Man, in the playoffs he does his things, but this is the regular season award, and in the regular season he doesn't really do that much, and the rest of the team is not really playing that good. They're playing okay. They're starting to get it together, but they're playing okay. But like Jokic has been that consistent piece throughout this whole season that's been carrying them basically. And it was at a point where he was leading the league in assists as a center. He's averaging more points than he averaged last year, more rebounds than he averaged last year, and he's actually pretty good on defense this year. And I have to give it to him. Some of the moments he's been having 50-point games, 40-point games, double assist point games, and he's been doing really good this season. And it's kind of hard to have that argument though, because that other center that's on the top of my list, that other center's doing good, but I don't know. It's your preference who is the best center in the league, but it's an argument though. But he's been playing really good, man. And when it comes to the playoffs, I hope he can carry this team again like he did last season, along with Jamal Murray. This team's kind of confusing though. They really lost a lot this summer, and they're trying to get it together. Just the depth is not there that much as it was last year. We're not seeing a bigger jump from Michael Porter Jr. that we expected. But that's just, I feel like that's the system, bro. It's so reliant on Jamal Murray and Jokic that Michael Porter Jr. can't really do his thing, where in any other team he would be averaging 18 plus. But Jokic's been going crazy this year, man. I'm excited for what he's doing, and I feel like he's up there in the MVP race. But like I said, number 2 is LeBron. LeBron just had so many clutch moments this year. I couldn't put Jokic over him. It was hard for me to even put Joel Embiid over him. But LeBron had a clutch moment against the Thunder twice, where he hit the game time 3 in game saving defensive play on the last time they played in a double OT game, or it was an OT game. He had a couple close moments against the Bucks. He just had a lot of close moments this season, and that was like something that a lot of people like to put against LeBron. Is when you compare him to Kobe, or when you can compare him to LeBron, he doesn't really have that much close moments, but he's racking them up this year, along with averaging better numbers than he averaged last year, and even with a short off season, it's not really phasing him that much, and it's really fun to watch. I can't lie, it's really fun to watch. Yeah, and the only thing you can really put on LeBron is just his defense. It's not as good as it was last year, but like regular season, not really worried. He'll step it up when it comes to the playoffs, because that's when he really plays, and that's when we really need him. But like, yeah, he's kind of carrying us, because like I said, our other pieces are doing okay. AD's having an okay season, not as good as it was last year, I guess, but he's having an okay season. But yeah, he's kind of carrying us right now, I'm not gonna lie. But number 1 is Joel Embiid, man. I love what I'm seeing from Joel Embiid. I want to talk about the game yesterday. 76ers versus Portland. Joel Embiid had a strand of plays where he had 10 points in a row in the end of that second quarter, and I'm like, yo, I've been wanting you to play this dominant for so long, and I'm so happy you're finally doing it. And then even Ben Simmons came out dominant as hell, posting up Robert Covington, one of the best defenders in the league. And I'm like, yo, if y'all two play this dominant along with Seth Curry and Tobias Harris being very consistent as they've been the whole season, I don't see nobody beating this team. I'm not going to lie. But it's not about them. Joel Embiid's having an amazing season, dominant season, back-to-back 40-point games against the Celtics, multiple 30-point games, dominating literally everybody. Dominated the Lakers, 33 on Anthony Davis's head. He's dominating everybody, and I'm like, yo, I've been wanting him to play for like this for so long. I feel like I always said there should not be an argument of who's the best center in the league, because I feel like Joel Embiid just has everything to be the best center in the league. Has the defense, has the offense, can do anything on offense, anything on, well, no, I wouldn't say anything on defense, but does everything on defense. And I'm like, yo, it should be no reason we should be having this argument, bro. You have everything, and he's finally doing it. That hang dribble pull up he be doing, bro, at 7 foot, bro, he should not be able to do that, bro. He's so nasty. He's so nasty, and he's adding a fadeaway to his game, bro. And I'm like, this dude's taking it to another level. I'm saying, bro, this is an all-time talent, bro, and he's finally learning. He's finally getting it together, and it's an argument. Well, never mind, KD's here. I was about to say it's an argument who's the best in the East as far as players. Like Giannis, it's always been Giannis. Joel Embiid, Ben Simmons. There's always been a couple players that had the argument. But if KD was in this, I would have that argument with somebody right now. Who's better, Giannis or Joel? Because I feel like Joel. I don't know. I feel like Joel might be better, bro. I feel like Joel's MVP right now. But well, that's it with the MVP rankings. Like I said, I feel like that's a credible list. I don't know. I can't really put nobody over Joel Embiid. A lot of people have LeBron. You can't really hate them for that. But I feel like this Joel Embiid's been dominant this year as far as against anybody. He's just been dominant. But what I really wanted to talk about today is what players should contending teams target. And I feel like it's a lot of players that should get targeted. Because I feel like a lot of teams need help. And I want to start off with the bottom. I feel like if you still consider the Heat a contender, and if they want to be a contender themselves, they gotta get rid of Tyler Hero, Kendrick Nunn. They gotta get rid of young talent. They just gotta go all in on Bradley Beal. He's having a career season, and you see them kind of falling back a little bit, while other teams like the Celtics, the Nets, the Bucks, 76ers, they're getting way better than they was last year. So if they want to make that run they made last year, they're not doing that with that team that they have now. They have to trade somebody, and they have to trade that young talent that they wasn't trying to trade. Like, they weren't even trying to trade Tyler Hero, Kendrick Nunn, Duncan Robinson for James Harden. Like, what? No, you have to trade them if you want to get better, because y'all not doing nothing with these other teams getting way better. Y'all not doing nothing. So they had to trade for Bradley Beal. He's having a career year, and I feel like Bradley Beal next to Bam and Jimmy Butler would be amazing. But they have to make that trade. Next, I want to talk about the Warriors again. It's been in the news that the Warriors want Lonzo Ball, and I'm like, bro, if the league lets them get Lonzo Ball, bro, next year, because I only put them on this list because any team with Steph Curry and the Warriors in general, they're a contender. I'm sorry, they're a contender. Steph Curry is generational talent. Any team with Steph Curry is a contender. So I had to put this team on this list. But next year, when Klay Thompson comes back, and you have a lineup, forget Wiggins. I'm not starting Wiggins over Lonzo if this happens. You have a lineup of Steph, Lonzo, Klay, Drummond, and Wiseman. Bro, that lineup would be so beautiful, bro. I feel like Pelicans, they're holding Lonzo back. Just, if you watch the Pelicans, he's a spot-up shooter. He's doing great in it. I'm not gonna lie, doing great in it. And he has some times where he gets the ball to do his thing, but like, bro, Lonzo should have the ball in his hands most of the time. If it's not B.I., if it's not Zion, Lonzo should be next in line. It should not be J.J. Redick. It should not be Eric Bledsoe, because that's what they look for more. They just be like, Lonzo, go to the corner, shoot that three. And I feel like, bro, if you have Lonzo, if you have his playmaking skills along with Steph Curry and Klay Thompson running around these Draymond screens, bro, that would be that's beautiful basketball. I'm sorry. That's beautiful basketball. Then you even have him being able to shoot the ball himself. That's beautiful basketball. This team gets Lonzo Ball, bro. Next year, they will be it. they will be it, because he's always been a playmaking person, and the Pelicans are not using his playmaking abilities this year. If you put his playmaking abilities with Klay Thompson and Steph Curry, two of the best off-ball players we've ever seen, bro, I'm sorry, bro, that's crazy. That will help so much. But another team I feel like is a contender, and I feel like they're one step from being a real contender, is the Trailblazers. I feel like if they go out and get a Harrison Barnes to replace like a Robert Covington or a Derrick Jones Jr., that would be perfect. He's having a low-key great season himself. Maybe a career year. I think it was 1 year where he actually averaged 20, so it's not really a career year. But he's having a great season. 16 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, and he's had a lot of great moments, especially against the Nuggets. I think he had the game-winning shot. Or was that Buddy Hield? It was one of them, but he has a lot of great moments. 3-and-D wing who can also create it for his own at a really good level. He's kind of went under the radar because the Warriors just gave him up for KD, basically. And he went under the radar, went to the Mavericks, then went to the Kings, went to the under radar. And he's a player that the Mavericks wish they had right now. Boy, do they wish they had him. But yeah, he would be perfect next to Dame and CJ. He will allow them to rest because they don't really get that much rest. Especially when Gary Trent's not on his own or when he's not hitting. They had a day yesterday, Carmelo was hitting, but like that doesn't happen often. I mean, I wouldn't say that doesn't happen often. That doesn't happen a lot. And it be times where they start losing games when you see Dame go to the bench, or when you see CJ go to the bench. If you have Harrison Barnes there, one of the most consistent players that don't really get talked about that much, I feel like you put him next to Dame and CJ, then this team will finally be a contender. You see, they always been a team that been looking for that small forward, and I feel like this is a perfect person to put next to him. He's still young. He's like 26, 27, so that's perfect. Celtics, I'm gonna keep saying this, Vucevic. If they want to do anything, they need Vucevic. Trade Kemba for Vucevic. I'm here for it all day, every day. Kemba's not a bad player, but Kemba is not going to be really good along with Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. I feel like Marcus Smart, I've seen enough to where I can say he's able to win that starting point guard position. You trade Kemba Walker, while his value is still something because it's decreasing every day. You trade him for Vucevic, and you'll be good, bro. You'll be good. He's averaging 23 points, 11 rebounds. A really underrated player, probably one of the most underrated players in this league. And he brings everything. Can score at all 3 levels and is a decent defender. And you put him next to Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown, I'm telling you, they'll be right up there with the 76ers and the Nets. Speaking of the Nets, a player that they need to go get from us, they need to go get JaVale McGee. If they don't get JaVale or any center, any credible center, then they're not doing nothing. I'm sorry. If you put this Nets team right now against the 76ers, the way Joel's playing right now, he's dominating DeAndre Jordan for the whole series. He's dominating DeAndre Jordan the whole series. And it's really nothing they can do because they don't really have a center. JaVale McGee is a great defensive center and a player that they need, bro. A lob threat and brings defense and is a great vet. I love JaVale McGee. I want him to go get another ring. I don't want him to be stuck with us, even though I love his veteran leadership. But yeah, they need him a lot. Along with the Lakers, they need him too, because when you look at their team, they don't really have post defender. They have decent post defenders. You got AD, you got Marcus Gasol, but they don't really have that rim protector. They only have AD as a rim protector. Marcus Gasol is good on post defense, but I wouldn't really call him a rim protector. If you put JaVale McGee right back with this team, that's an elite rim protector you got for you guys, and then he already knows the system, so it'll just be amazing on the Lakers if they need him. 76, they already talked about it, but I feel like they want Nemanja Bjelica from the Kings, a great shooting power forward who can also create for his own sometimes, and he can guard 3-5. But I wouldn't say it. He's cool. He's cool on defense. But I feel like Terrence Ross would be good with the 76ers, because when you look at their bench, who do they really rely on off the bench? They be relying on Furkan Korkmaz, who's really, he can be consistent sometimes. He's cool. Tyrese Maxey, he's a rookie, so when you get to those moments where you really need bench help, that might be hard for him to contribute sometimes, unless he just goes crazy in the playoffs. Shake Milton's having a really good season. So I don't know. Maybe Nemanja Bjelica is the perfect person off this team because they don't really have that big man shooter other than Joel Embiid. So you just bring Nemanja Bjelica on here. That would be good. Next to Dwight Howard, next to Joel Embiid and Ben Simmons. So that would be really good for them. But a team that do need Terrence Ross, the Bucks. The Bucks need Terrence Ross so bad. When you look at their bench, when you see the players that they rely on to do anything on the bench is Pat Connaughton, DJ Augustine, Brent Forbes, who's having a really good season, by the way. Brent Forbes, he has a shot. But when you look at that team, the only really consistent player I named right there is Brent Forbes. Other than that, DJ Augustine's having a bad season. Pat Connaughton's cool, but he's really on and off as it comes. And they really don't have nobody to rely on that bench to where if Giannis getting foul trouble or if Chris Middleton getting foul trouble, they do not have that bucket getter to keep them in the game. Terrence Ross is one of the best bucket getters we have in the league. He's a what do they call those players? I don't even know what they call it. But like when he gets hot. But when he's not hot, terrible. I'm not gonna lie. But still, he can be a spot up shooter. He can also give you buckets when you need them. And I feel like that's a perfect person off that bench because when you look at that bench is not that good. And that was one of their that's one of the things that they lost in this offseason. They don't really have a credible bench. The bench is not really that good. So if you get Terrence Ross out of the trade or something like that, I feel like that will help them a lot because he's a player that will fit really well with this team, especially when it comes to the bench moment. And he can even play in the crunch time moments because he has a shot, a decent defender, and he'll give you buckets. He will give you buckets. And the main reason why I want to make this list, Kyle Lowry. If you put Kyle Lowry on the Clippers, I don't want to cuss. Nobody's beating them. I'm sorry, nobody's beating them. I feel like the first few years, probably like 4 years ago, Kyle Lowry was a playoff choker. He was kind of bad in the playoffs. But then the last 2 years, the year before that when they won the championship, and last year, people kept calling him a choker, and it came so bad that he became underrated in the playoffs. Look at Kyle Lowry's number. Forget the numbers. Look at the games that he had in the playoffs. Look at the performances he had in the playoffs. Look at last year, semifinals, game 6 against the Celtics. He won that game for them. Look at game 5 or 4 in the finals. He won that game for them. Kyle Lowry's became so underrated in the playoffs, and you put that playmaking that this Clippers team's always needed. They always need a playmaker. And if you put that next to Kawhi and PG, and if they play like they're playing right now in the playoffs, it's nobody beating them. And you're going to have to give up depth. You're going to have to give up Lou Williams, who they want to get rid of anyway. Pat Bev, I love Pat Bev, but he's not it no more. So you're going to have to give up Pat Bev. Probably going to have to give a Zubac, who's a really good backup center, but you can always go get a backup center. It's some in the G League. It's some in free agency. Just go get a backup center. You probably going to have to give it like Terrence Mann, who his playing time is like on and off anyway. But if they get Kyle Lowry, they need to find a way to get Kyle Lowry because they're not beating the Lakers without Kyle Lowry. I'm gonna be honest. And if you don't think Kyle Lowry is that big of a piece to put any team over the hump, you're tripping. You don't watch basketball. Kyle Lowry on this Clippers team would be amazing. I can't even express it enough. He will be amazing. He already knows how to play with Kawhi and Serge too. Won championships with them. Won one championship with them. And I just feel like if you just plug him in with this team along with his playmaking, he had a lot of clutch moments last year. You bring them clutch moments to the Clippers when they definitely need it, and a defensive point guard who can go out there and strap out the other guard on the other team, bro. They need Kyle Lowry bad. They need him bad. They need him bad. But yeah, that's it for this episode, man. I just wanted to come in with a couple of names I feel like contenders should go get in the MVP list. But yeah, bro, if they get Kyle Lowry, it's over. It's over. I said that on Twitter yesterday. I love Kyle Lowry so much, bro. I need him to go win another ring, bro. Cause his career is always gonna go under the radar, and I feel like when you put him next to a lot of these Hall of Fame guards, I feel like Kyle Lowry has a case to make the Hall of Fame. And I feel like if he gets another one, that case is sealed. He's a Hall of Famer. But other than that, that's it, man. Thanks for following me. Thanks for subscribing. Subscribe, share with your friends. And other than that, peace out.